Happy Saturday, and welcome to the Ram Satsang Weekend Workshop, where you'll learn a modern Satsang method for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. My name is Eddie, and I will be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I'd like to give you a brief overview of this Satsang session. If you'll direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin its practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of Satsang, inner Satsang and outer Satsang. An example of outer Satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer Satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior. But only through the practice of inner Satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The Satsang that you will learn today is an inner Satsang where we meditate in silence. Group session. These weekend workshops are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these weekend workshops, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul, but only through the practice of inner Satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice Satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, you'll receive a lecture about a Satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you'll receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of Satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ram Ashram Satsang. He was born into a Satsang family where he experienced his family members attain states of enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, facilitating satsangs. And during that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. After arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangees. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more accessible to Western and English-speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England, facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we're here in Satsang. For all of this month, we will be talking about, so the theme pretty much is manifesting transcendental energy. The entire process, if you distill it, it's essentially manifesting of transcendental energy, what we practice here. Sometimes it's hard to fathom what that brings. And so I have been thinking like how, uh, like when you are at higher ground, when you are, uh, at higher levels of higher consciousness and higher awareness, um, there are other positive um, qualities that come with it. So joy, peace, and Eddie was referring to some of that: joy, peace, love, hope, uh, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, faith, uh, and the list goes on and on. So I do see that people do breath work, people do guided meditations, people try to manifest very material things like money, or a little more, uh, you know, uh, things like relationships. Um, but and then there are other positive affirmations, and then you have um, you know, meditations, guided meditations, which focus, let's say, on gratitude or love and kindness, or compassion. Um, but, I think that this practice that we do essentially, manifest transcendental energy. And once you transcend the world, some of uh, the things that, you transcend or, uh, get above is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, ego, all that, you leave behind, and what you get is gratitude, compassion, empathy, and so on and so forth. So, yes, you can meditate on these specific things, but when you try to manifest this transcendental energy, you actually, um, you encapsulate all of these positive things. Um, so today I thought, let's revisit the video I recorded with Parul, my daughter, my elder daughter, and let's uh, you know uh, we were talking about meditation and manifestation. So let's have a listen, and then we go into the practice.
Hi everyone, my name is Parul Sanjeev, and this is my dad and my great-grandfather. And this is Ramashram Satsang Mathura, our nonprofit organization in our family. And today we're going to talk about really interesting topics like manifestation and ayahuasca and the connection to meditation. So if you're interested in that, keep watching, and now I'm going to hand it over to my dad.
And I just wanted to say that everyone should meditate and find everlasting peace, right?
Yeah, I love that. And also, can you give a little intro on Guru Maharaj? Yeah.
So Guru Maharaj established Ramashram Satsang Mathura in India in 1930 and opened up the gates to everyone who wants to understand what is meditation.
Awesome. So today I wanted to go a little deeper than just what's meditation and guided meditation. Let's go beyond that and talk about some really interesting topics that the collective is really talking about today. So the first one I want to talk about is manifestation, and where does that lay in the realm of really meditating, right? Because it's all about what it seems to be today is this physical manifestation of our wildest dreams and stuff into physical reality. But it'll be really interesting to hear from you how that lays into actual spirituality and the deeper heart-centered spirituality.
So manifestation, I see all these internet videos that talk about manifesting money, love, and so on and so forth. And believe me, even thousands of years ago, the scriptures have written about Kamdhenu and Kalpvraksh, which are deeper concepts that you can manifest what you want, even material things. However, Guru Maharaj said that if you want to establish a very solid and deep spiritual foundation, and if you want to continue to a road that leads to light, love, and peace, satsang can do it, but you will have to stop manifesting material things. You have to go deep within towards the higher realms.
And is there a guarantee if you focus inward that it'll go outward, or is it just that you just have to have faith?
So life has no guarantees, right? The thing is, in spiritual terms, that's true too, because it's a slippery slope. Unfortunately, a lot of people who have grown get caught up in the materialistic things even in a spiritual journey, and that's a catch.
Yeah.
And a lot of people slip and slide because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping focus on an upward journey, like if you were climbing a mountain, and especially a very rugged and steep terrain, what happens when you fall? Right?
It hurts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the farther you fall, so however far you have taken yourself, the slipping and sliding still happens, and the farther you have gone up, the hurt will be far more if you fall from a height.
So I think that might scare people off, right? Because they
Yes.
want the physical manifestation.
Right.
So what would you say to someone who they're more focused just on, I want to be really successful, like I want to be everything and have all the money in the world, but I also want to be spiritual? Like, what would you say to them?
So, I would take a little bit of time and give you an example of, I was at work. One of the leaders in the meeting, I was in a meeting with several people, and one of the leaders was getting very frustrated because the other party in that meeting was not understanding the facts and figures and the direction and approach that he was recommending. So he really got very frustrated at one point and said, okay, folks, if your goal is to go to New York from Washington, D.C., and that, as you know, I-95 North will take you there. But if you take I-95 South, he says, and go 100 miles an hour, would you ever reach New York? And while listening to that, I said, doesn't that example apply to all of us who want to achieve spiritual progress, who want to go to New York, the northern, land which would give us light, love, and peace, the way spirituality, purity defines it, right? But we are going south at 100 miles an hour towards material world. Peace is not outside, peace is inside. And that is the number one thing that you need to understand. If you want to manifest the world, you're going south.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
So it really, see, that's the thing. The people who are talking about spirituality, people who are saying that, they are like, I want to manifest love. I want to manifest money. I want to get this new car. I want to get this new house. I want to get married. so on and on and on and on, but it's all outward focused. The peace, love, and light can be within. You can be totally complete within yourself. So manifest that love, light, and peace within yourself. And you don't have to give up the worldly pursuits, really. Guru Maharaj was a family man. He was practicing homeopathic medicine, right? So you can be earning a normal living and leading a family life, but your orientation or your understanding that peace is within.
I love that. And I think that's a good place to end this discussion on manifestation. I hope everyone who is exploring manifestation got something out of that. I hope it was helpful. And I think that was such a beautiful answer. So thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed watching. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, it's a lot of times the discussion comes to, if I have ambitions, if I have things to achieve, how is this helping? And I think if you are practicing concentration and if you're having a practice that helps you elevate yourself to higher levels, I really, at least from my vantage point, it's very hard for me to figure out that you are at a higher level and there is you will miss things that at lower levels people achieve. It's just that you would not probably achieve material or other success trying to trample on people or trying to make shortcuts which are not even according to your own values. You would short circuit those and achieve something. So you could be very spiritual, you could be at a higher level, and you could still be living a great life, and in the sense of not only you have love, light, and peace, but you have the comforts of the world, because if you're making right decisions, if you have the ability to concentrate and focus on things, if you have a higher consciousness and higher awareness in the sense of how what you're doing affects others, all that needs to be taken into account for a longer term success anyways. So on that note, let's practice, let's get into, let's integrate this practice of manifesting transcendental energy and transcendental light, which elevates us and which gets us to this target state of embodying love, light, and peace. So for that, as we were listening, inward orientation, because inward pursuits will take you to this land of peace, and and concentration. So those two things you start with, you get into deeper meditation, and that results in higher consciousness. So basically, to target this concentrated state, you take one thought or one idea, one mantra, or so here we just observe transcendental energy. We just are trying to manifest transcendental energy. That's our object of concentration. That leave everything else, just during the meditation, feel the presence of this transcendental energy in form of light, and that light is entering our heart and distributing throughout our body, and we are becoming one with this light. mind will wander away, which it usually does. You bring it back. And so to stay focused on this thought and this thought alone, eyes lightly closed and relaxed posture, in which, the bodily movement is minimized. So because every time your body moves, your mind moves with it. Sensory input through the eyes also distracts. So eyes lightly closed, relaxed or still posture, and then feel this presence of this phenomenally uplifting and positive uh, transcendental energy in form of light that's right here, right now with us. And this energy is entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming the light, you're becoming the energy. And when mind wanders away, bring it back to just this thought. We'll start with music. Music fades away, and then we go into deep silent meditation, and then we transition out with music. Let's start now. Happy Saturday, everyone. Well, today is one of those sessions where, I want to keep quiet rather than talk. Nice. So thank you, everyone. Great session. But yeah, let's continue the discussion. So, Rich, hi, Arvindji or Rich, anybody?
Hey, Sanjeev.
How are you?
Great, great. Better now. uh, yeah, I have so many thoughts it would take too long, but
Let's hear one.
uh, even as Paru was talking about the manifestation thing, you see all these amazing stuff that breaks it down to quantum physics, right? And gets a little bit heady, of course. So focusing on it's sort of like it's focusing on anything. You get whatever you focus on. Be careful what you focus on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because it might take you down like a different path, right? And so even just not identifying necessarily with, pure material things, um, is just good advice in general because it brings you back to actually what does matter. So how, not just inner peace, but just how to appreciate and actually experience the joy of your life by that virtue of that inner peace. The rest may or may not follow, but certainly the material pursuits don't engender a better perspective on life to give you that inner peace. So I can see that, right? The other thing I think about a lot is having learned the transcendental meditation method, back in my 20s, so almost 40 years ago. I don't necessarily experience it the same way. The inner lights is another subject, I guess, of other ways to internal inner peace. But mine is more like a physical thing, right? It's more like my body starts to rock and the janglies get out because it's stress being released, and I literally will rock and I can feel my toes tingle and all those things. So it isn't like I'm, seeing a light and seeing God or whatever. It's more of a release. It's how I think about it. And I don't necessarily try to manifest anything, but so much as, again, release. So I don't know. I've said a lot there already, but kind of two major subjects, which is I think, certainly you should try to manifest love and good things and not just a new boat or a car. And
Yes.
secondly, maybe I'm not, I've done it the same way for so long. I can't really jump to that higher aspirational, love, focus and the light in my heart and all that. I don't feel anything but just great release and relief. So
Yeah. So, even in some of the corporate trainings, we used to hear that, like if you have a vision, if you have, almost like a visual of where you want to be, then the chances of achieving it get higher. You, almost like you are, in a way, forward feeding your brain that, figure out ways and not necessarily like, it's like a path that, is clearly laid out, but if you are, um, if you clearly say that I want to manifest this, this, and this, the chances that your mental capabilities and brain functions would then align towards that vision. So manifesting is a complex subject, and it's but it does work in like several dimensions, literally.
Mm.
And so the more tangible the object or the target is, it's easier to grasp, and it's like, okay, this is what I want to get.
Mm.
But if you want to like literally transcend and manifesting this transcendental energy is like you don't want to get into all the minutia. You want to get to a higher state, and that higher state then interestingly has all these. So how these while I was reading that, the greed and the anger, and so how, when you lift yourself higher up, you leave those things behind and you get to things like gratitude and empathy, and um, that's very interesting. It's like at higher levels, these lower things don't exist.
Yeah, I
So,
know. I know.
but actually, and then while I'm questioning that, it just comes to me. Actually, I talked about some topic of how you could tackle your anger and so on and so forth. And somebody actually sent me from within like satsang literature, that it's a balance. You can get consumed by anger, but you can have a balance where you can use it as um, you can leverage it to send some message to your kids or to people you're working with, but you're not affected negatively by it,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, sometimes like just to make the point, we kind of exaggerate it, right?
Mhm.
But essentially, it's the balance that we're seeking.
Mhm. Mhm.
But uh, definitely, like the higher states have more neutrality in your thinking, in your uh,
Mhm.
approach to things, um, and you know sometimes, and there was another thread that was running this morning when I was thinking about talking about manifestation and manifesting this transcendental energy. And so sometimes when um what I saw, like all these leaders that I saw in satsang, they were living this you know uh balanced life, imbibing this energy, which they acquired from someone, which is very interesting. It's like um, how that literally, like this transfer of energy happens for real. Um, that's where it becomes very, you know, hard to describe.
Mhm. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's we talk for hours about it.
Yeah,
We'll take up
exactly.
everybody else's time.
Yeah, yeah. So Arvindji, you come to the rescue then.
Not at all. Not at all. Namaskar, Puji Bhaiya, and happy Saturday, everybody. As you were saying, Puji Bhaiya, after this session, you don't feel like saying much. It's just that feeling that one cannot explain. How things happen and how Guru Maharaj's grace Yes, beyond relaxation, I guess. When Richard was saying about the sensations he gets, I was simply remembering what Param Puja Guru Maharaj said about Ira, Pingla, and Shushunama. How the energy flow from Guru Maharaj's grace that comes through you. How that energy flow causes the
Yeah.
energies to flow through
So
those,
that
which is simple. Yeah.
that's very interesting, because I was just trying to describe this balance, right? And what you just made me recall is that there is this, negative energy flowing downwards and positive energy flowing upwards. So, how your breath actually, uh, you know, and so this energy flow has an effect. But then when you meditate, you could bring the energy flow to the third one, which is where there is balance between the two. So interestingly, one is negative, one is positive, but then there is this balance where negative and positive, and that balance comes through this meditation. So it's yeah, but it's and we have so many doctors, and I don't hear so much about how this can be explained. Right?
Well, the truth is, Guru Maharaj explains, and you cannot, as I said before, science is struggling to catch up with what's already been said by, a true saint. And, people, doctors are nothing. We're just, the only thought that comes is we've got sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous systems, and that's Ida and Pingala and Shushna and the neurohumoral axis. And Guru Maharaj's energy balancer. He is the doer. As you say, the idea is to sit in front of the energy, the light, and let the light do the work, not fight it. As Param Puja Papaji used to say, don't battle with just watch it. just observe. And that's all we can do. And the grace, one more thought comes that, tum chandan ham pani, Guru Maharaj, in India, we have sandalwood. I don't know if we have it in the West, but we used to have sandalwood, and the water flows. See, the water is, not so nice smelling, and it's colorless, and and as it comes in contact with that blissful sandalwood, the aroma from sandalwood touches the water, and one hopes that that happens. That's one what can pray for. Thank you here, Namaskar. And looking forward, counting the days that we can see you
Oh,
down here.
On that note, so next Saturday session will be from London, and looking forward to meeting folks there, including Arvindji. And so we have actually taken this nice place in Harrow, in London. It's a historic society there, the Arts Center. I just looked at it, and it's pretty nice. So hopefully we'll have a nice satsang there. And then the following Saturday, I'm traveling to Philadelphia, so west of Philadelphia, in I think somewhere near Melbourne. So the next two sessions will be, from there. So it's interesting. So from across the pond, this is the place where we're looking to have the satsang. Yeah, and I was looking at, and as Rich was talking about transcendental meditation, they have in-person and hybrid. Not so they don't mention online. It's like, and I want to kind of, so earlier it used to be all in person. Now through pandemic it became all online. now I need to kind of bring that whole in-person aspect back, or some sort of hybrid, because in-person energy. So the collective energy here, I mean, we all feel the difference. We definitely feel the collective energy. There's no doubt about it, at least in my mind. But when it is in person, I also don't have any doubts that that has a multiplier effect. So looking forward to some of this in-person activity. And I think July and in August, actually I'm Virginia, London, and Toronto. So yeah, looking forward to all of that. So on that note, any other questions, comments, thoughts, or Eddie? Let's have a wrap up.
We so this much topic is about transcendental energy, how to manifest it. And so I was thinking, how do we know when we're receiving it, when we have it? And it reminded me of something. An instrument. An instrument obviously is the best way to measure this, right? But what sort of instrument do we use to measure transcendental energy within ourselves? And I thought about when I was younger, they used to have this piece of jewelry. It was called a mood ring, and it would it would change colors as your mood changed. So if you were angry, it would be red or something like that, and if you're happy, it'd be another color. I forget what the colors were. And if you were anxious, it would be another color, maybe yellow or something like that. So it was this mood ring, and it would tell you what your emotions were. And then, through that, you can make changes within your thoughts or your behaviors so that you would go back to a happy state or something like this. So what kind of instrument is equivalent of that for measuring transcendental energy? And it's our bodies, as we talked about today. And it's the sensation of the energy, like Rich mentioned. He feels a tingling, and Arvenji mentioned that through the autonomic nervous system that we experience these inflows of energy from the cosmic, or from the atmosphere, if you will, from the universe. And so it is really truly like our bodies. When we eat certain foods, it affects our minds, our thoughts. We can take note of the flow of energy in our body, our moods, the thoughts that arise. Are they more chaotic? That's one form of measurement. Our posture, right? How we sit is one for, will help us increase that transcendental flow. When we're in bad positions, we experience pain, right? And that's an obvious indication that there's disruptions of energies within our channels or nadi, right? And when we meditate, most of all, we achieve that peaceful state. And that sort of tells us, this is it. Okay, I'm doing something right. This is what I should experience throughout the day. I should be in this sort of state if I'm doing everything right. If I'm observing the yams and and the niyams, if I'm doing those things properly, then I should be in this state throughout the day. And so I find that our bodies really are the best instrument for telling us if we're manifesting that transcendental energy within ourselves. And that's basically it. But I just wanted to make mention of that because we were sort of talking about those things today, about these ways that we can feel energy and measure transcendental energy within ourselves. So that's the easiest way, I think.
Yeah, and this question comes up quite often, that how do I know I'm on the right track? And so you point out that basically we ourselves are the measure, and we are the instrument. So and we have talked about this in the past. If your behavior, so as you were mentioning, yam and niyam, and even the nadis and how the energy is flowing within. So if your behavior is getting better, and in the sense that when your behavior gets better for yourself, you feel better. So it's a quote unquote a better mental state. And the second thing is like, and just to, Guru Maharaj talked about inner happiness. So it's just a flip, another way of saying that if you're feeling better, what do you do? So if you were to measure how happy you are when everything else is, going okay, so you're not at a higher happiness level or a lower happiness level, which you oscillate between, when you, what's the equilibrium state? And that state is the state of inner happiness. So if that, inner happiness state keeps increasing, so you are happy, literally, quote unquote, for no reason, or you are happier, through your days. So that also means that you are on the right track. So yeah, thank you, Eddie. And on that note, let's imbibe the energy, be the light, and manifest this transcendental energy to transform ourselves. So light, love, and peace be with you. And we'll see you all soon. Hopefully from next, next session would be from, London. So looking forward to that, definitely. So see you all.
Thank you. Safe travel.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Rich.
Have a good trip, Sanjeevji. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula.